the Premier League, the PGA Tour, Primetime's #1 show, Sunday Night Football, and Super Bowl 56, only on NBC.
Get on your feet. Here we come to get you. You're doing it. All day for Sunday night. Let's get it.
Thought nothing could surprise you. You thought you'd seen everything. You never saw me coming. All eyes on me. Ready or not.
Josh fires right side. Spins into the end zone.
A perfect ball.
On my way. You can't stop what I got. Ready or not. Down zone. You best get moving. I'm about to change the game.
That's a celebration going on right there.
Ready or not. You can't escape.
Brady at pressure. And he's going to go down again.
You can't stop what I got. Ready or not.
Touchdown Tampa Bay. Bucs run in overtime. Place is going crazy.
So it looks like a beautiful night in South Florida, and it is Sunday Night Football, back where it all started, in Tampa Bay. And with one win tonight, Tom Brady and the Bucs could clinch their first division title in 14 years. Now, they did lose to the Saints earlier this season, so that means tonight Taysom Hill looks to complete the season sweep. But they won't have their head coach, Sean Payton, on the sidelines after he tested positive for COVID on Friday. So defensive coordinator Dennis Allen is in charge as New Orleans continues its playoff push. Hello and welcome back inside the studio. I'm Maria Taylor alongside Tony Dungy, Andrew Breeze. You're watching Football Night in America. We finally have it decorated for the holidays. It's the last Sunday until Christmas, but unfortunately, COVID's been the main story around the NFL this week. We've had 3 games that were moved. The league updated its protocols. More on that a little bit later. But let's talk about tonight's game. Obviously, I already mentioned no Sean Payton. So, Drew, what does this mean for a team that finds out on Friday their head coach is not going to be able to coach on the sidelines, and all of the roles are going to be shifting for that coaching staff?
Yeah, well, offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael will take on the play calling duties, and I know how much confidence the team and the offense have in him. He's one of the longest tenured coaches. He was one of his first hires back in 2006, Sean Payton. He knows this offense as well as anybody. He's one of the smartest guys in the building. And he's the guy that on a daily basis actually spends the most time with the quarterbacks in those meetings, doing the game plan and the install. And so there's a ton of confidence and I'd say just familiarity with the way that they operate together.
So the offense is going to be in good shape, but what about the defense? You know, Tampa Bay has put up big numbers on virtually everybody since Tom Brady's been there, except the New Orleans Saints. Dennis Allen has done a great job, but you mentioned now he's got to take over the head coaching duties, more on his plate, clock management, game management, challenges. He won't be able to spend as much time with the defense. Will they be as effective tonight against the Bucs?
Yeah, Dennis Allen, he's been the DC since 2015. And you mentioned Carmichael. He's been on the sidelines for 13 seasons. So if you had to have a situation like this happen, it's great to have these long-tenured assistant coaches stepping up. All right, let's talk about our Sunday takeaways. And Drew, let's start with a game that we really knew what the outcome was going to be, right? The Cardinals, the #1 seed, they're going on the road. They're undefeated on the road. They're taking on the Lions. And what happened?
Maybe the biggest disappointment of the day was the Arizona Cardinals. You know, they come off a tough loss in the division to the LA Rams on Monday night. You think this would just be a game they come in and mop up, but that was far from the case. They got outplayed in every phase, offense, defense, special teams. Most of their losses up to this point have been self-inflicted wounds, turning the ball over. They just got outplayed, out-physicaled, out-coached all game long today.
When you talk about disappointments, what about the Tennessee Titans? They've lost 3 of the last 4. And we're always saying, you know, without Derrick Henry, life's going to be different. It wasn't Derrick Henry not being there. They can't hang on to the ball in their 3 losses. 13 giveaways, no takeaways. They've got to have better ball security or their season's going to slip away, Maria.
All right, we've got highlights of every game coming, but the Titans' loss was a part of a big shakeup that we've seen in the AFC this week. And it is the most wonderful time of the year because Steve Kornacki is here to break it all down for us. So, Steve, take it away on the AFC playoff picture.
Yeah, well, Maria, the shakeup may be continuing with some of these 4 o'clock games wrapping up soon. But so far, what we can tell you on the AFC side, the biggest gain we've seen in terms of playoff position belongs to the Indianapolis Colts. This is where things stood coming into this week. You see the Colts had a 60% shot of making the playoffs. They won. They beat the Pats last night, and the Chargers got beaten that Thursday night game. All of a sudden, here's the Colts with basically an 80% shot now of making the playoffs and jumping the Chargers for the 5th seed. Another big gain on the AFC side. It doesn't look like it. The Bills were 7th coming into the week. Right now, they are still in the 7th spot in the AFC side, but the Bills won. The Patriots lost. The Bills a game behind the Pats now and playing the Pats in Foxborough next week. If the Bills win that game, they'd have the tiebreaker. They could jump the Pats in the AFC East. And speaking of the Pats, that's the big thing, the race for the #1 seed in the AFC coming into this week. This was the pecking order. Pats, Titans, Chiefs. But, of course, the Patriots with that loss to the Colts. They had, coming into the week, a 42% chance of the top seed. Now it drops to 26% for New England. With the Patriots losing to the Colts, the huge opportunity today belonged to the Titans. Could they take control of the AFC race? No, they lost to the Steelers. So the Titans, instead of making a big jump, they drop double digits as well, down to a 16% shot of the Titans getting the top seed. The big winner of the week in the race for the top seed, the Kansas City Chiefs. They got that win on Thursday night. They got help. And suddenly the Chiefs' chances of having the top seed in the AFC have now more than doubled, a 50% shot. You see it right here. Here's what's left for the Chiefs. Steelers, Bengals, Broncos. If they go 3 for 3, and the odds are they're going to be favored in all 3 of those games, 3 for 3, and the Chiefs would once again, after everything they've been through, be the top seed in the AFC.
All right, Steve Kornacki will be here painting the playoff picture for us, and all of those numbers are courtesy of Pro Football Focus. But, guys, I had a question for you. Do you remember the last time the Saints were without both Sean Payton and Drew Brees on the sideline? Anyone?
No.
No?
That's a long time ago.
Great,
right?
because I got a flashback for you. New Year's Day, 2006, same matchup as tonight's game, and guess who was the starting QB? It was our guy, Chris Sims.
And that's a good throw.
That was a good throw. He threw 2 touchdowns to Joey Galloway. They got the win 27-13, and look at his hair. Look at
I
it.
see you, Chris.
Please show us some throws
guys.
that are better than those 2 we just saw.
Not a problem. Easily can show you 3 throws that are better than those 2, without a doubt. And I at least have a better haircut now. But let's break it down. Let's look at the 3 throws of the day, certainly. And we're going to go out to Buffalo. The greatest one-man show in the NFL right now, Josh Allen. Yeah, he's like me. Maria, you ditched me for the big-timers over there. So just like Josh Allen, I got to pull this off by myself. But Allen was phenomenal. That game was closer than the score indicated. Tua, big pass right here, had just thrown a pick 6 that tied the football game. That was the answer and the go-ahead score for the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins still in the playoff hunt. Then the upset of the day, Jared Goff and company. Huge throw right there down the middle to Reynolds. That puts them up 17-3 at that point. Detroit gets the big upset, and, of course, Arizona's reeling a little bit. Maria, back over to you.
Yeah, Chris, we put Santa Claus behind you there so you'd feel a little more comfortable.
Thank you.
2 guys who are never alone, Jack Collinsworth, Rodney Harrison, because they're together in Tampa Bay, guys.
Maria, after spending 24 hours in Tampa, I think I officially understand where Tom Brady was coming from. Where else can you get mullets, palm trees, and pirates in one location?
Dog, I thought we were in New Orleans because they party hard in Tampa Bay.
They really do. So we always start our day locked in on defensive football. Dan Campbell, he's been laying the foundation in Detroit, and it's finally paying off in a big way for him.
Absolutely. I was so proud of Dan Campbell and what his team did. They were the outstanding defense today. And his players have a lot of respect for him because they don't quit. They don't give up. They played aggressive. They played physical. They played with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. I played on a 1-15 team, and the worst thing is coming to work every single day, having to come to work, and guess what? These guys come to work, and they're getting it done, Jack.
It was a different looking Kyler Murray without DeAndre Hopkins, that's for sure. So why does it feel like the NFC is right back to where it ended last year, going straight through Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers?
Absolutely, and a lot of it's going to depend on Aaron Rodgers, his toe. If his toe is healthy, if they get that #1 seed, watch out.
Better watch out. We wanted to thank everybody as well for their contributions all week long to help those affected by last weekend's tornadoes. You can get involved. Just text tornadoes to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross Tornadoes Relief. Well, ever since his days at Ohio State, Malcolm Jenkins has been a great leader everywhere he's been. He brought championships to New Orleans and Philly. Now he's back for his 2nd chapter with the Saints. And on Tuesday, he hosted his foundation's annual holiday dinner surprise. The event fed more than 500 families, including 135 in New Orleans. But the former Eagle and Buckeye has also provided dinners for those in Philadelphia and Columbus, Ohio as well. He gets it on all levels. And Rod, that Saints defense led by Jenkins, they have given Brady issues ever since he arrived in Tampa. So what is it about their players and their style that makes life tough on Brady?
Hey, hold on. Man, would you get out of here? If you want to be Tom Brady, you got to hit him and make him uncomfortable in the pocket. But you also have to play a lot of tight man-to-man coverage in the secondary and take away those quick, easy throws. One name I got to mention, Demario Davis, one of the top 5 middle linebackers in all of football. Watch him tonight from sideline to sideline. His name will be called a lot.
I want to lock you in on one matchup in particular. Mike Evans, he beat Marshawn Lattimore for a deep touchdown in Week 8, but that's a great rivalry on the outside every single time. Who do you like in that matchup tonight?
I like Mike Evans. Marshawn Lattimore is a great cornerback, but he's inconsistent. He'll give up big plays, and these two guys don't like each other, obviously. No. They're going to push, they're going to shove, but I like Mike Williams because he has Tom Brady throwing to him.
And during his time as a Buccaneer, Tom Brady, he has thrown 7 interceptions in just 3 regular season games against New Orleans. The Saints have the talent, and they have the form, though. Maria, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Jack. It's time to bring in Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. And Mike, one Bucs receiver we are not going to see tonight is Antonio Brown because he's serving the final game of a 3-game suspension for violating COVID protocols. But what is the latest on his situation?
Well, Maria, I'm told that the Buccaneers do plan to welcome back both Brown and safety Mike Edwards. They both were suspended for misrepresenting their vaccination status. The Buccaneers aren't announcing anything until after the game because they don't want it to be a distraction. But once Brown is back, keep an eye on how much they use him, especially down the stretch in the regular season. He's got some big incentives that he's close to beginning to earn. They may put him on ice and hold him until maybe the postseason when they may need him more, especially if guys get injured.
All right, thanks, Mike. Okay, Coach, let's assume that Antonio Brown does come back. What's your reaction to hearing that he will be reinstated with this team this season?
Well, I'm a little bit confused, Maria, because I live in Tampa, and I heard when the Bucs brought in Antonio Brown, he had a checkered pass, one misstep, and he'd be gone. That's what they announced. So I think you're sending a bad message if you don't follow through on this, because this obviously was a misstep. I believe in giving guys second chances, but if that's what you say you're going to do, you need to follow through as an organization on your word.
I agree, but I'm sure what they're thinking is we may need this guy down the stretch in order to win, and that's the priority for us right now. And so whether he plays right now or not, because they're rolling right now, they don't really seem to need him, but maybe as an insurance policy, and maybe more importantly, to keep another team from signing him if you do end up cutting him.
You know, I'm fine with that. But then don't say at the beginning, one misstep and you're gone. Let's say that. Hey, if we need him, he'll be here. If we don't need him, he'll be gone.
Hey, look, either way, we haven't seen Antonio Brown since Week 6. He's been dealing with an ankle injury. He's only played 5 games so far for Tampa Bay this season. So you're right, Drew. They have been able to find a role and a chemistry on offense without him. And part of that is because of this guy, Leonard Fournette. Guys, he's coming off a season-high 113 rushing yards and a touchdown last week in the win against Buffalo. Let's see what he has for us against the Saints tonight. Well, coming to Peacock this January, a new NFL film series focused on the many pioneering women across the league, including Sarah Thomas, the NFL's first full-time female official, and the Bucs assistant D-line coach, Lori Locust. You can learn more about those two and so many others making forward progress on Earnin' It, also available now across podcast platforms. All right, let's make some forward progress too. Let's get to these highlights. Houston taking on Jacksonville. Darrell Bevel obviously stepping in for Urban Meyer, who was fired earlier this week. It's a rainy day.
Whoa.
And
rainstorm.
Yeah, stormy drama, a lot going on for the fans, but they were still there. Okay, 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Davis Mills to Brandon Cooks. That'll be a touchdown.
Yeah, that's his go-to receiver. The game started off with a great pass to Brandon Cooks for a touchdown. It ends with 1-2. Texans look good. Davis Mills played well, Maria.
For his first career win in 8 starts. And Trevor Lawrence still without a touchdown in this game, the third straight game without a TD. The Jets taking on the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, and the Dolphins have won 5 straight. Can they make it 6? Can they throw it to the big man, Christian Wilkins?
Man, he is some athlete. He really is. He caught this easy, and you can tell he knew what he was going to do once he scored. He knew where he was going.
6'4", 310, doing the worm in the end zone.
That's
pretty
athleticism.
impressive. Okay, but nothing to celebrate here. Tua is intercepted by Brandon Eccles and returns it for a touchdown.
Yeah, Tua made some good plays, but he was shaky with some decision-making at certain points in this game. You see it there. Easy pick 6 for the Jets. Yeah, but he answers, Maria.
Well, that tied the ball game up, but you're right. Here's the answer. Devontae Parker.
Nice
Dolphins
throw,
win their
slant.
6th straight, but let's hear what Christian Wilkins had to say after the game.
Your dance moves are on full display after your very athletic touchdown. You pretty much did everything but, throw out the kitchen sink. Just talk about the dive into the crowd, the worm, the windmill.
You said full display. I was holding back, honestly. You ain't see me at a wedding or at a bar mitzvah or nothing like that. Then that's when the moves are on the full display.
I'll never forget that's the same guy who, after Clemson won the national championship, hit a full-on split in the celebration, so we should have expected it. But, Coach, there's a lot to celebrate if you're a Miami Dolphin. You started the season 1-7, and now you're 7-7, just the second team in NFL history to ever pull off that feat. How have they been able to do it?
Well, Christian talked about full display. What's been on full display to me is these guys believe in Brian Flores and his formula. We're going to play physical, we're going to play hard, and we're never giving up.
Yeah, defense is talented. They got a lot of stars there. They got a little run game going right now, too. Duke Johnson was a big lift for the run game. Tua's been pretty consistent and efficient throughout this winning streak.
All right, guys, I want to take our focus back to the first highlight, and that means the Jaguars. Let's bring back in Mike Florio. And, Mike, can you tell us more about what the Jaguars are looking to do to replace Urban Meyer in Jacksonville?
Well, in 8 days, and this is for the first time ever, the window opens on teams with coaching vacancies to begin interviewing with permission assistant coaches from other teams. And, of course, the Jaguars now have a vacancy. I'm told a couple of names to watch. Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, and also Buccaneers offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. McDaniels has been complimented for his work with Mac Jones, the rookie quarterback in New England, and Leftwich, once upon a time, was the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The current quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, is critical to this move because of the need to develop him properly. He told CBS in advance of today's game broadcast that he wants to have input in the hire, and owner Shad Khan has said that Lawrence will.
All right, Coach, so the 22-year-old would like to have a say in the hire. What should be the process for Jacksonville looking for their next head coach?
Maria, I'm going to give Shad Khan some advice right now. Keep your quarterback informed. He's very important. He doesn't need input in the decision. You need to make the decision. You need to get a leader of men. Don't listen to your quarterback. Don't listen to the fans. Don't listen to the media. Chris, pick a winner and pick a leader.
100%. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I got a lot of respect for him, but he's young. What does he know about the NFL right now? He just got in here. He's learning in the process. His first experience is Urban Meyer. Yeah. So what's he going to be able to tell them about who they should hire? Also, too, don't be scared of the defensive coach. I like McDaniels and Leftwich, but Peyton Manning did okay with this guy over here. Tom Brady did okay with Bill Belichick, too. It's not crazy to go with the defensive coach. He's all right. Exactly right. We can keep that list going on.
I like you buttering up, Coach. That's a great job.
I like that.
But even with all that being said, Byron Leftwich will be on the sidelines here tonight. His third season as the Tampa Bay OC. Remember, Tampa Bay averaged 410 yards per game last season and won a Super Bowl.
And he is doing a great job.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Sunday Night Football! Everybody watching!
Oh, Drew, look, a thank you to number 9.
In Tampa?
In Tampa.
Take it.
I think part of the reason is because Tom Brady has still not beat the Saints in the regular season as a Tampa Bay quarterback. So I just want to thank you, Drew, for making that happen. Guys, I'm going to show you something. Vita Vea, he's struggling to get his jersey off earlier this season.
It's hard for the big fella.
Okay, but he studied the tape. He did some practice, and then, look, he's able to get it off all by himself.
Much better last week.
We got to keep our cameras rolling after the game to see if he can do it on his own again. And I know he struggles to get his jersey off, but doesn't struggle to stop the run. And obviously there's a quarterback in this game who would like to be involved in the run game for the Saints, Coach.
Yes, I talked to Taysom Hill yesterday on the phone and asked him about the quarterback's runs, and he didn't spill the game plan, but he said, yeah, I'll be ready. And here's why it's going to be very important. Tampa has a great run defense, and what they try to do, they try to outnumber you. 8 defenders in the box, you only have 7 blockers. But when your quarterback isn't running, or your quarterback is running rather than handing off, you can get that 8th guy in there to block, and he becomes a factor. So instead of being one man short, you now have a guy to take care of that 8th defender and let Taysom Hill do what he does, Drew.
Yeah, and this quarterback isn't like most. He's got the strength and physicality of a fullback, but the explosiveness and speed of a running back. And when he gets to the next level, I can promise you, he's not looking to make you miss or to slide. He is looking to run you over, to make these corners and safeties pay.
And now let's look at the real quarterback on this play. What's his job? He's out here trying to get open?
Listen, I would always tell Taysom, I'm here if you need me, if you get in a jam. But at the end of the day, my job is to occupy another tackler. So if I did that, I did my job.
Hey, great job.
I see why the fans are out there. Thank you, Drew.
Yeah, thank you for occupying
people with your eyes and not doing anything else. Okay, well, let's see how exactly the Tampa Bay defense is going to defend Taysom Hill. And for that, we take you back out to Tampa Bay with Jack and Rodney.
Yeah, Maria, so Josh Allen, he had success against the Bucs defense last week with running and throwing. Taysom Hill, he has a similar running style. So how concerned should we be about this Bucs defense, do you think, Rod?
I'm not really concerned. I know they're getting healthier in the secondary. Todd Bowles, he's going to make his necessary adjustments. But these guys have a lot of pride in stopping the run. And you better believe they're going to load up the box like Coach was talking about. They're going to stop the run and force Taysom Hill to pass the ball down the field.
So if they do that, and Taysom Hill is passing the ball, we got a pretty good sample size out of Taysom Hill now. How much belief do you have in him, though, dueling with Tom Brady through the air?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I've never have to see him. I've never seen him drop back 25 and 30 times and have to pass the ball. We'll see, especially without Sean Payton there. I just don't see it.
Sean Payton, both tackles as well. That's a tough formula.
Yeah.
And Todd Bowles, he's a defensive coordinator with head coaching experience. He had that Tampa defense playing their best by January last season. They can take the NFC South crown on Sunday Night Football.
Celebrating the victory, presented by Allstate.
Warriors, that's what we are!
Brady throws the ball, caught. There you go, Tom Brady.
Our tempo all game long. The Saints get a huge touchdown. Caught Jerry Cook. Ball's out.
Buccaneers come up with a football.
Brady dives straight ahead. And the Buccaneers will survive.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Applebee's Holiday Gift Cards and by Abbott, life to the fullest.
We're back. Yep, it's Tampa. You know it. They're still excited about their Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Great fans down there. They really are. Matey, don't mess with us, Drew Brees and the Saints. Don't do that. But all right, let's check out some points bet poll stuff here. Brady, you see there, over under 295 yards. Man, that's a lot of passing yards versus a defense that's done a really good job defending him. But that's why Drew and I are here tonight, right? We're going to hit a little bit on like some of what makes Tampa's offense so great. They got personnel we know is great. Brady's great. Yep. They can run the football a little bit.
Great scheme.
And they have great scheme. That's right. They make you defend the whole field. And the screen game in particular is impressive, Drew.
Yeah, this is what really sets them apart. And they get it to everybody. Here, these quick receiver screens get linemen and receivers downfield. Big play opportunities, get into the hand of your speedsters.
Yeah, you play, stop the run or stop the big pass too much. They'll, again, outflank you with Gronkowski into the flat, and then he has space. And the receivers, Drew, I know that's what's really impressive. They block down the field for this Buccaneers offense.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette, obviously a huge source of their run game, but has taken on a bigger role in the passing game lately. Getting the ball into his hands, receivers once again blocking downfield. What DBs want to tackle this guy in the open?
No, nobody does. And Chris Godwin just got 2 pancake blocks right there, is blocking for him. So that's pretty impressive. They make you defend everything in Tampa. That's why they're an awesome offense. Now, what else is awesome? Download the PointsBet app and get betting options you won't find anywhere else. All right, Maria, back to you.
All right, appreciate it, Chris. Welcome to all of you who just watched the Packers hold off the Ravens. Let's get to the highlights. The Cowboys taking on the Giants. They've won 8 of their last 9. Give it to your running back. Let Zeke eat.
Yes, Dallas offense in a little slump. Get the running game going. That's a formula to get out of it.
All right, third quarter now. Dallas ahead by 9. Dak Prescott, he's going to put in a little work in the red zone, Coach.
And when you run well, that opens up the play-action passes. Dallas Schultz here.
It's the career high 5 receiving touchdowns for Dalton Schultz. And then let's see if the defense can get involved. They were dominant all day.
Yeah, a lot of talk about the offense, but this is why Dallas is winning. That defense is aggressive. They get takeaways. They are playing really, really fast on defense.
All right, well, guess what? Dak has a little bit of a wager going on with his defense, and he's losing it right now. Take a listen.
We have a little bet going on. I'll let everyone know defense is kicking our ass, but it's turnovers versus touchdowns that we created this week, and they obviously won this one, but we'll make sure that they carries over. And yeah, they're doing a great job getting the ball.
All right, Dak, we're going to be keeping score, too. Let's get you to the number 1 seed Arizona Cardinals on the road, taking on the Lions. Haven't lost on the road yet, but it was Jared Goff, Josh Reynolds, 22-yard touchdown.
It was the Lions all day today. They start out running the ball well, and Jared Goff there.
And you see that the interception by Kyler Murray, it's really been a story of turnovers for the Cardinals as of late.
Lions defense had Murray off his game. They harassed him, they got after him, and really just outplayed Arizona today.
That is the first road loss this season for Arizona. So as you can imagine, a very unhappy head coach, Cliff Kingsbury.
Obviously pissed to come out and play like that. That's not who we want to be or what we want to be, but I got to tip my hat to Detroit. I thought they had a tremendous plan. Like I said, they outcoached us, outplayed us, and we got to be better.
Yeah, got to be better is probably a little bit of an understatement, an opportunity to clinch the playoffs in this game. You're going on the road, they were undefeated, and it's a little bit of a listless Lions team that showed up in the Lions' den. But what concerns you most about this loss for the Cardinals?
Well, Arizona, they had been playing great defense. Today, they had trouble stopping the run early, and next week they've got Jonathan Taylor, so they've got to get that ironed out because they're going to see some run game from the Colts.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor has 8 games this season with at least 100 yards rushing, so you're right about that, Coach. They'll have to watch out for him. But it's time now to simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface. Chris, Drew?
Well, Maria, we know the Cowboys got the star in their helmet. They got a lot of stars on their football team, and right now the defense is the star of the show. They really are. With the DeMarcus Lawrence back healthy, you got Randy Gregory healthy once again. The depth, the versatility, and looks they can throw at you in their defense is what impressive to both Drew and I right now. And Drew, right off the bat, I mean, this football game, D-line, Dallas Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence lining up a defensive tackle, gets the hit on Glennon, ball pops in the air, interception, sets up the Cowboys for an easy first score.
Yeah, and how about Micah Parsons here? He does so much for this football team, but watch, he's covering the running back man-to-man, feels the running back, who's his guy, pick the corner. So what does that do? It leaves Kenny Golladay running wide open for a touchdown. Well, no. He uses his instincts, gets out there to cover him. Unbelievable, the contributions this guy does for that defense.
It really is. He's insane. I mean, the smarts, the versatility he has. Yeah. He's still an awesome pass rusher. And Maria, this defense plays like this, they're going to make the Cowboys tough in the playoffs.
Smarts, versatility. That's what I think when I see Chris and Drew standing together. All right, Tom Brady running out. I don't know. Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings, but I got to tell you, there's someone else with a lot of drip on the sidelines. His name is Snoop Dogg, and guess what? He's joining the set. Rodney and Jack are hang out with Snoop.
Snoop's at Tampa?
Yeah. He's hanging on the show.
And I'm not there. I can't believe it.
Simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider of the NFL.
This house is on fire! Let's go! And guess who's there? Hey, that big-time stuff!
Gasoline in my veins.
Burning the defender! Touchdown! Yes! Well done, young man!
As we rise from the flames. Heart of a lion, never say never.
Whoa, is that the dagger? Blast those cannons! He's still gonna get in.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Well, the defending Super Bowl champs are ready for Sunday Night Football, and Tom Brady has a history of doing damage with running backs that can catch out of the backfield. They signed Giovanni Bernard to be that guy, but he's on injured reserve. Leonard Fournette told us his focus is on becoming a complete running back. That's our Sunday Night 7. Rod, how many receptions and total yards tonight?
Well, Leonard's dealing with a sore ankle. He told me that they have the best offensive line in all football. So I believe it's going to be a total yards, 70 to 89 yards, and 5 receptions. You good with that, Snoop?
I'm good with that. Listen, we are joined by the most dynamic entertainer and youth football coach walking the earth. Snoop, welcome back. Thank you for being with us.
It's a pleasure and a treat. I can get used to this, baby.
That's right. And both of you guys have such a great friendship with Tom Brady. How did that form for you, Snoop?
Well, me and Tom became friends years ago when he was at New England with my friend Willie McGinnis, and plus he's a California kid, and I just love his spirit, his work ethic, and just the way he attacks the game. So I just love being friends with somebody that go as hard as I do.
Coach Snoop, you told me in LA that you had 14 titles. You got to put on your hat as a coach. What would you tell Tom Brady, or what advice would you give him about this offense tonight facing this big-time defense?
Just take your time and do the things that you're great at as far as, matriculating the ball up the field with patience and persistence and putting that run game in effect, too, because Fournette on one right now. Leonard Fournette +3. That means 7.
And both you and Tom have sustained the highest levels of success for multiple decades. So what's the key? What do you see from Tom Brady and how he approaches his craft?
I think Tom just, it's a mind game with him. It's more mental than anything. And they always said that football was a game from the neck up. And when you watch him play the game, he gives you the perfect illustration of what that means. He's a smart guy on the football field, and he outsmarts every defensive coordinator that runs up on him.
Tom's personality is really starting to shine. What is it about Tom's personality in Tampa as opposed to New England? What's different about him?
I think Tampa's a party town, and it's enabling Tom to be able to be more free. He's at the stage of his career where he's a family man. He understands life, and he can come here and just be accepted as a rock star because he's a real rock star, and Tampa's the town that really appreciates him. And I've been here for a couple of minutes, and I'm saying it feels like a rock star town, baby.
Is Snoop, you'll be with us for the post-game show as well?
Always, baby.
Sunday night football final after the game. We may even have Tom Brady coming over to join us. I don't know.
Hey, hold on. You have to join us, too, in the last act to pick the teams, to pick the winner.
You want me to pick a winner?
Yeah, I want you to pick a winner.
I want my name up there so I can pick a winner. I like that.
Hey, put his name. Make sure his name is up there. Big Snoop
check
and
out
Snoop.
Snoop as well on 2021 is done. That's starring Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart on Peacock.
All right, we'll make sure his name gets up there, okay?
Yeah, somehow I think we'll figure it out.
All right, a game from the neck up. Meanwhile, Panthers kicker Zane Gonzalez was injured during pregame warmups, so then they had to try out a new place kicker.
A lot of shankopotamuses right here. I know that. You don't want any of them kicking for you.
That's backup quarterback P.J. Walker seeing if he could hit a PAT.
He didn't.
Okay, you're going against Josh Allen, and he's going to find Stephon Diggs because that's what they do.
Yeah, it was a field position game early on. Great throw there. One-on-one coverage, and Diggs gets the touchdown. It looks like a little sip of beer as well.
Okay, so let's see what Josh Allen has next. Surveying, dart.
Gabriel Davis back to the end zone. Great throw. 31-14. This game was closer than this. If Carolina had their field goal kicker, it could have been interesting.
Been an interesting one. Bill snapped that 2-game losing streak. The Falcons on the road taking on the 49ers. Nick Bosa. Let's see if we can get a strip sack here of Matt Ryan. It's recovered by Fred Warner.
Bosa's been amazing and needs to be in the conversation for comeback player of the year because he is one of the best defensive players in the league right now.
George Kittle coming off of a huge game gives us yet another big game.
Yeah, they're healthy on the offensive side of the ball, the 49ers. Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, Jimmy G's being efficient. 49ers are dangerous.
Did you say Deebo Samuel?
Deebo
Did you
Samuel.
say dangerous?
Dangerous.
Okay, let's go for a 21-yard gain.
Woo, dangerous. Look, the guy's mouthpiece flew out of his mouth, so that's dangerous, all right.
Yeah, you don't even want to make a tackle. He had 60 yards and a rushing touchdown. And then the 49ers are able to punch it in with Jeff Wilson Jr.
Run game's working. Defense is a top 10 defense. One of the best offenses in football. Hey, 49ers, don't forget about them. They get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked if they go on a run in the playoffs and end up in the NFC Championship game. I think they're made for playoff football.
Okay, so they remain the 6th seed in the NFC. Drew, do you agree with this guy about the 49ers?
I do agree. I think they've played outstanding, and I think their run game is coming back and using a lot of different guys to do it. But defensively, they're starting to look a little bit like the form they were a few years ago when they made their Super Bowl run.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Buffalo. A few weeks ago, you said best team in the AFC, had a couple heartbreaking losses, but they're back now next week going to New England. They're playing for first place. I like that they got Devin Singletary involved and got him running the ball. That's what they're going to need in New England.
Yeah,
Maria?
huge game coming up for them, Coach. Meanwhile, guess what? It's almost Christmas, but Chris knows a little bit about the Grinch. He's been traveling around all of these NFL games. I know, you are the Grinch. You stole Christmas. You made it all the way to the Bucs. We'll see whether or not the Saints can steal another game on the road in the regular season against Tampa Bay.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Welcome to the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff.
It's a beautiful day in Tampa Bay, or evening, I guess I should say. New Orleans Saints on the road taking on the Buccaneers. Let's go on the field, presented by Hyundai. Tony, let's start with Tom Brady, the 7-time Super Bowl champion.
Bucs quarterback coach Clyde Christensen told me before the opener he thought Tom Brady would break all of his records this year. He's got a cast of receivers that are outstanding, and he's playing great football.
So as a veteran going up against a guy named Taysom Hill that you know a lot about, Drew.
Yeah, he's the do-it-all player for the Saints offense. He's been waiting for an opportunity like this, and he brings a whole new dimension to the quarterback position. I'd expect the Bucs defense to get a heavy dose of Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill in the run game tonight.
Yeah, I talked to Taysom on the phone yesterday, and he told me he's mentally ready to run the ball tonight. He didn't want to give away the game plan, but he said he's ready.
Right. Well, remember, Taysom Hill has had to come in. Remember, there was injuries to Jameis Winston, and we've already seen the Saints get a regular season win against Tampa Bay. They would love to get another one, and Taysom Hill will be involved in that run game. All right, let's get involved in the last few highlights that we have left. Tennessee Titans taking on Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at the Titans gathering in the
logo again.
I thought we didn't do that anymore, Coach. Ben Roethlisberger, he'll take it. And guess what? His first rushing touchdown since November 2018.
And this was Pittsburgh's really only their one effective drive of the whole game.
Okay, the Titans' next possession. Ryan Tannehill looking for his rookie, but Joe Hayden is able to recover the fumble for Pittsburgh.
And this was the story of the game, although this probably was a bad call here. It looks like the shin is down before the ball comes out. They did not reverse it, though.
Okay, well, it led to a game-tying field goal, so we're all knotted up at 13. And then Tannehill intercepted.
And this has been the story in Tennessee's losses, not taking care of the football. Pittsburgh has a chance to go ahead here.
Terrible towels are out. Those are back-to-back giveaways for the Titans, so they're trailing. Tannehill can't handle the snap. The Steelers recover. There's
another one, and Mike Vrabel, this is not Vrabel football.
3 straight turnovers for the Titans led to another Steelers field goal, and then it's Tannehill getting it to Nick Westbrook, but Joe Hayden stops him short.
Great tackle by Joe Hayden, Drew. We think of him being a cover corner, but that was a physical play that won the game for them.
All right, blow us a kiss, Coach, because you got the win 19-13. But if you are a Titans fan, you're looking at the last 4 games. They are -9 in the turnover margin, and you just can't win games like that.
No, you can't. They got to straighten that out.
Meanwhile, the next highlight is Cincinnati Bengals. They're going on the road taking on the Denver Broncos, but the third quarter, a very scary moment. Broncos down 6. Teddy Bridgewater takes off, and you're going to see him leap into the air going airborne. He hits the ground really hard. You'll see Bridgewater get hit. As he lands there on the ground, you can see him also hitting his head. Now, he was carted off, taken to a local hospital. He reportedly has a head injury and has some movement in all of his extremities. So we're wishing him well. Drew Lock steps in, takes over at quarterback for the Broncos. Not an easy thing to do, but he does it well.
The dude throws up the 50-50 ball to Tim Patrick, Maria, and he goes up and gets it. And you think, whoa, the Broncos got momentum. But then this is the very next series, and Joe Burrow and company, they answer right back with the big pass to Boyd to put them back in the lead.
Big play, Bengals. That was a huge one. Less than a minute to go. Last chance for the Broncos. Block is sacked, though, and the Bengals hang on for a 15-10 win. But let's check in with Mike Florio for an update on Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, a very scary situation.
Yeah, I spoke with the Broncos just a few minutes ago. He does have a concussion. CAT scan and other diagnostic tests have come back normal. He has movement in all extremities. He is going to spend the night in a local hospital as a precaution, Maria. So for now, it looks good, but they're going to continue to keep an eye on him.
All right, appreciate it, Mike. Wishing Teddy Bridgewater well. That leads us to our final highlight and one of the more exciting games that we've had so far today, right? Lamar Jackson is out for the Baltimore Ravens as they go up against the Green Bay Packers, but that means that Tyler Huntley gets the start. We start in the second quarter with the Packers down 7, and Aaron Rodgers, tell me if you've heard this before, to Devontae Adams.
Yeah, a lot of injuries in the Baltimore secondary. They actually had Adams doubled there, but didn't get it executed.
Okay, fourth quarter, Packers up 21-17. And Rodgers just doing what Rodgers does.
Yeah, this is a beautiful ball right on the money. Marquez Valdez-Scantling with a monumental ball.
Yeah, that ties the Brett Favre for most touchdowns in franchise history. Then Rodgers incomplete in the end zone.
You don't see this often. Yeah, he had him open and missed Lazard there. That gave Baltimore a chance.
Yeah, the next drive, Huntley, he's going to take it himself, Coach.
And he played really, really well in this situation. Gave them a chance to win the ball game.
The Ravens down 31-24. They get the ball back, facing third down. Huntley, Mark Andrews, huge game.
Oh, he was the man all day long. Started out hot in the first half, and they kept going to him.
So out again, Huntley finding Andrews, and then 2 plays later, Huntley's going to have to scramble a little bit here, Coach.
Played with poise all day, made the big plays, took advantage of the run lanes.
He gets another touchdown. The Ravens decide to go for 2. So Huntley, with the game on the line, incomplete to Mark Andrews.
Man coverage there, tried to get it in, and just came up short, tipped ball.
Green Bay clinches the NFC North. That's their 3rd straight division title, but I want to know whether or not you like the decision to go for 2 for the Ravens in that scenario.
I love the decision. You're playing with your backup quarterback. You don't want to play another overtime period against Aaron Rodgers. Go for the win right there, but I would have liked to seen them, Drew, maybe use Huntley a little bit more, read option, something with a run option for him.
I agree. That play ended up just being a one-man route, running to your right, corner with the safety bearing down, and that's who ended up tipping it. But yeah, some sort of power run play with the quarterback or something that gave him some multiple options. He made so many plays scrambling earlier that maybe you give him a progression, let him scramble, but certainly not just a one-man route.
But I did like the decision, and that's been Baltimore's MO, be aggressive all year.
All right, well, really, and Huntley said, too, that it was a great decision. Even though we didn't make it, it gave us the best, closest chance to be able to pull off the victory. Take a look at the quarterback comparison. You got to give a hats off to Tyler Huntley for what he was able to do stepping in for Lamar Jackson.
Outstanding.
Absolutely. All right, time now for the Sunday Night Game Flow presented by Progressive. Chris?
Yep, well, the Progressive Game Flow, we know where we're going with this one. We're going to go to Aaron Rodgers because, of course, he was phenomenal today. You know, he is nipping at the heels for Tom Brady's MVP award, or Brady's kind of the leader in the clubhouse right now. But Rodgers was extremely efficient today and made a lot of big throws down the field. Here to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, you could see not a lot of room for error, gets it right over the DB's head. Then, later on in the game, play-action pass under pressure. What? Laser beam down the middle into a tight window, and nobody was ever has been as good as this. 12 people on the field, code word, get up to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball, and get the free 5 yards. Rodgers was in total command today. He missed that one throw, Maria, but he was awesome for the rest of the game.
268 yards, 3 touchdowns. That was the Sunday Night Game Flow presented by Progressive. Now, back to the big story, guys, that we've kind of been following all week, and it's been COVID issues around the league. There's no Sean Payton for the Saints game tonight, and 3 games were moved. So that includes the Raiders-Browns, which kicks off on Monday in a doubleheader on NFL Network, ABC, and ESPN, and 2 more games on Fox on Tuesday night. It's Washington and Philadelphia, and the Seahawks taking on the Rams. Mike Florio, give us the latest on the COVID situation.
Well, I'll start with Washington. They have 13 players from their active roster on COVID reserve. Starting quarterback Taylor Heineke, I'm told, is trending in the right direction, and they're hopeful he'll be cleared to play as of Monday in that Tuesday game. The Browns play late Monday afternoon. They have 18 players on the roster on COVID reserve, including quarterback Baker Mayfield and quarterback Case Keenum. They're taking a very practical attitude. They're assuming that they're not going to have any of those guys. Anyone they get will be viewed as a bonus. Now, it was well over 100 players who tested positive this week, and that triggered dramatic changes to the NFL and NFL Players Association COVID protocol. The most significant development for vaccinated players, coaches, and staff. The testing will be much less frequent than it used to be, and the driving factor now in most cases will be whether or not people have symptoms. And I'm told there's a real concern in league circles with these important late season games coming up and playoff games. Some people may be very tempted to hide their symptoms, Maria.
Well, COVID obviously affecting players, but coaches as well. Sean Payton's positive COVID test means Saints defensive coordinator Dennis Allen is in charge tonight. His 11th ranked defense is facing Tom Brady and the Bucs, looking to win their first division title since 2007. It's New Orleans and Tampa Bay coming up on Sunday Night Football. Tom Brady looking for his first regular season win as the Tampa Bay quarterback tonight against the Saints, and we're waiting for the countdown clock to hit 0 as Tampa Bay takes on the New Orleans Saints. Let's get to the best of Week 15. And Coach, let's start with the upset of the day.
Yes, really, it was an upset in Detroit. Kyler Murray was off all day, but it was really the Detroit defense. They harassed him, force them into mistakes.
Cardinals lose their second straight, fall to 4th in the NFC, and trying to dig themselves out of a hole. Meanwhile, the Niners are getting hot at the right time, Drew.
Yeah, they've gotten their swagger back, especially in the run game, using a lot of different guys, but no more than Deebo Samuel. He's really been the MVP of that offense this year.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys' defense has been the MVP, dominant all day.
Yeah, don't worry about Dak's so-called slump. They've got this defense going, and they are carrying things in Dallas.
4 takeaways against the Giants. That's enough for their 3rd straight win. Then Aaron Rodgers, he threw 3 touchdown passes. This one tied Brett Favre for the most in franchise history.
Yeah, just add 3 more to the long list. He just continues to play really, really well.
But then Tyler Huntley led the Ravens back from a 14-point fourth-quarter deficit with impressive play.
Yeah, you really have to credit Tyler Huntley and the job he did, especially down the stretch, to get 2 touchdowns, to tie the game and go for 2. So close. It really a one-man route to his best tight end, but unfortunately they fell short.
Oh, the Jets taking on Miami. You really can't stop the Dolphins right now. Their 6th straight win.
Oh, look now. Here they come. They know how to celebrate, too.
Yeah, don't look now. Here comes Christian Wilkins into the stands and doing the worm in the end zone. The Dolphins started 1-7, never forget. After 2 straight losses, though, the Bills are back on track, question mark, Drew?
They are so hard to figure out. They've not played a 4-quarter game yet this season, but they do have splash plays like that.
And can retake first place in the AFC East by beating New England next week. Okay, meanwhile, big matchup between 2 AFC playoff hopefuls.
Yeah, and we have a touchdown pass here from Joe Burrow, but it was really the Cincinnati defense and Burrow scrambling, making things happen.
Close your eyes, Coach Drew. I'm going to talk to you about this. The Titans led by 10 at half, but turnovers cost them this.
Yeah, Coach Dungy's had enough of watching this.
He's done.
Way too many turnovers for Tennessee. In fact, all their losses have just been beating themselves. Self-inflicted wounds, turnovers, but credit the Steelers defense, especially Joe Hayden there at the end, stopping them when they were on their way to try to win the game.
Pittsburgh gets a big win for their playoff hopes. Remember, we saw Tomlin blowing a kiss at the camera. Now Tennessee has lost 3 of 4. That's the best of week 15. We're 56 days away from the Super Bowl. It's honestly hard to believe that. But when you think about, the big upset that we see from Arizona, and you think about the Titans and the turnovers, there's a lot that could still change. And now we got to get a painting of the playoff picture for the NFC. Walk us through it all, Steve Kornacki.
Well, we got a big shakeup, Maria, in the AFC North and the AFC playoff picture. Let me take you through it. Baltimore coming into today was leading, clinging to the lead in the AFC North. That loss against Green Bay, it knocks Baltimore out of the lead in the AFC North. And in fact, look at this. It now knocks Baltimore out of the top 7, down to just a 50% chance of the Ravens making the playoffs. Their 3rd straight loss of that Green Bay game today. Baltimore losing that game is the advantage now goes to Cincinnati. Cincinnati knocking off Denver in Denver. That's a tough loss for the Broncos. For the Bengals, though, look at this. It brings them up to a 51% playoff shot into first place in the AFC North. For the moment, I say for the moment, because look down here, the Cleveland Browns, if they can knock off Las Vegas tomorrow, Cleveland would move to the top of the AFC North, and Cincinnati would again fall out of the top 7. So a very, very tight race there. And by the way, look who's now in the top 10, Pittsburgh, with that upset win, a half game separating all 4 of these teams in the AFC North. There is a viable path for all 4 of those teams right now to win that division.
And obviously, it just keeps getting tighter and tighter as we get closer to the end of the regular season. Drew, what stands out to you at Week 15?
Well, it's so hard to believe that Cleveland might be sitting atop the division after tomorrow. But I think this next week's game between Cincinnati and Baltimore, I think it will really be the determining factor for that division. I can't wait to watch it.
And on the NFC side, in the West, Arizona 2 weeks ago, they were the number 1 seed. And now they're in a dog fight with the Rams for the division title.
Well, we have to see how the NFC and the AFC end up shaking out, and Arizona has Indianapolis on the other side of that. They got to worry about the run game. But we had the Saints and Bucks on Sunday Night Football last season. I don't know if you guys remember this, and New Orleans got the win, 38-3. That guy, yeah, he was actually playing in the game. But we, as a team, struggled here on Football Night in America to get our picks right.
I'm taking the Bucks.
The Bucks. I'm taking the Bucks.
I am too.
Bucks all the way.
We're in trouble. We're going to get trolled by New Orleans.
Tonight was a great night. Found ways to win.
Take a bow, Drew. take a bow.
Did you doubt him last year?
Apparently, y'all did. I did not doubt you, Drew. I was at home believing that you were going to get the
betting
win.
on us.
Yeah, betting on you.
I knew you would.
All right, now it's time now for our home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. Let's get it to Jack Collinsworth back in Tampa Bay.
It'd be a real shame if Drew doesn't pick the Saints after all that. 79% of the country's on Tampa. The Saints team, they quietly have wins over Green Bay, New England, and Tampa. But after Jameis Winston's injury, they have lost 5 out of 6 games. I just don't see Taysom Hill scoring enough points without Sean Payton, both his big money tackles. Plus Snoop, he's got this crowd buzzing, man. I'm on the Bucs.
Who you got, Snoop?
Well, you know I'm going to have to go with the home team. I'm going to go with Tom Brady and the Bucs because I feel like Tom and Leonard Fournette going to do what they do, and I feel like their defense is clacking, and you know what's happening.
I'm going with the Bucs. I agree with what he said.
I do, too. Mike Florio, who you got?
Hey, Chris, you and I have talked about this before. The Buccaneers won that Super Bowl in that stadium. It's a special place every time they go back. They're better there this year than ever before. I like the Bucs tonight.
I'm with you, Mike. I like the Bucs as well. Drew Brees isn't there to save the day for the Saints this time around, so I'm going with the Bucs at home.
I'm going with Snoop, click-clacking, and you know what's happening. So it's going to be Tampa Bay for me, Coach.
Yeah. I'm going to pick the Bucs also. I think Taysom Hill and his running will be a difference in the game in that defense, but I still like the Bucs.
Drew?
I will not make the mistake that all of you are making right now. I'm taking the Saints. Who dat, baby?
Oh, okay. We'll see whether or not Drew gets the win. He's on a comeback. Those were tonight's home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. I love it, Drew. Yeah, stick with it, man. All right, they're ready to go down in Tampa. The Bucs looking to clinch the NFC South. The Saints continuing their playoff push. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya have the call after Carrie Underwood gets us started. We'll see you guys at halftime.
This has been the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes. Or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.